right, ready in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Where my mom's at? Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at? Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's at?
Where My Mom's At podcast with Christina P.
I'm here, I'm talking to Esoteric of Czarface. His new album, Czartificial Intelligence, is out December 1st. Ooh, ooh. Guess what I did last night? Guess what I do every night? I sleep on a Sattva mattress. Why? Because I love this company. I love their service, but most importantly, I love their product. Because I love getting a huge king-size bed with high-quality everything for a fraction of the cost. It really is just that good. You place your order on sattva.com/theshit. You go there for $200 off. Place your order for a brand new king-size mattress. I recommend getting the Solaire because it vibrates, it lights up, it moves down. It's the best. Or their luxury firm. I love that one. The Lumen Leaf is outstanding. You're not going to pick a dud. Anyway, you hit click, you buy the mattress. Immediately somebody contacts you to set up delivery, and they even take away your old mattress for a nominal fee. It really is just that easy and just that special of a company. Sattva was literally, I reached out to them a million years ago to sponsor Your Mom's House. That's how much I love them. Sattva.com/theshit for $200 off. Bro.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I'm so pumped you're here.
Oh, me too. Thrilled.
You're the coolest.
No, you're the coolest.
I love you so much.
You dress the coolest. You got the coolest glasses, coolest sweaters.
I did it for you, homie.
Can I try those glasses on, or is that?
Yeah.
No.
No, these are yours. Do you want to put the lipstick on too?
Well, I don't know if they. I would. Do these have COVID all over them? Are we good?
You're convinced I have COVID. What
Well,
if it's just a cold?
I think.
Ooh, that's good.
I think these work for me, actually.
Dude, those are really good on you.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a whole new rapper identity for
Well,
you.
I was trying on glasses earlier. I think this is kind of modern.
This is the whole new era for you.
I like it.
What are you going to call yourself? You're still esoteric.
I'm still esoteric, but it's I don't know. I can't believe there's no lenses in these things.
Yeah.
Or are they very quaint?
They're very subtle.
Subtle. Oh, yeah. All right. No.
They're called, this is what Nadav, we used to call them Jew broad glasses.
Okay.
And I wear them if I don't want to do my eye makeup.
Okay.
So
yeah.
you're wearing Jew broads.
Well, okay. So if I didn't want to do my makeup, I could just wear these. Yeah. I put on a little Cetaphil under my eyes. I think it's Cetaphil. Is that what it is? I don't know. My wife gave it to me. She's like, hey, put that under your eyes. And I said, what are you trying to say?
Is that lotion? Or
it's like a little white thing that you just go dot, 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 dot.
Sure.
And I think you rub it in. I don't know. But it's supposed to make me look younger.
Well, I am so amazed at how little men are taught to take care of their face.
Oh, yeah. She's always popping my blackheads and Biore strips and stuff like that. It's her favorite thing.
But like, why don't men, like as a teenager, that's when girls start to ramp up their facial care when they get acne. Like, do boys just, is this a culture where, is that gay? Are you sucking dicks if you're taking care of your face as a teenage boy?
I don't know about now. I
feel like it should be encouraged.
Feel like how to feel. I think it should be encouraged too, and I do think that sucking dicks is okay. I want to make that cool.
Is it?
That's clear. Yeah, not everyone's into that, but I don't know. I don't know. I think it's an afterthought. I never really cared. I was self-conscious in high school when I had gigantic zits and I didn't know how to handle them, and I didn't know how to manage them, and nobody taught me how to manage. So I had a moment with my son when I was trying to teach him how to properly pop a whitehead.
Ugh.
And he just disregarded that. He doesn't care at all. He does it on his own. He'll come out with a giant fucking scar on his, I'm like, oh, you could have just warmed that up a little bit. Go in the steam room and just open those pores up. And then,
I'm going to puke just listening to you talk about it.
All the shit that you see, I'm going to make you puke. The stuff you show me on YMH, that's going to make you, pus is light work, I thought, for you.
All right, Czartificial Intelligence. Let's talk about it. I can't wait to hear this, Mommy. What's the theme? What was going on in your world?
I think there's just a lot of uncertainty in this world where everything's going. You know what I mean? Everyone's terrified of AI, and a lot of the artists and actors and entertainment industry and writers are somewhat threatened. Some people are using it to their advantage. we are certainly not. I mean, unless my voice goes out and I lose my voice entirely, I can still write, and maybe you can kind of recreate a model for my voice, and I can continue to annoy people forever. But so it was just one of these things. There was kind of a layup, so to speak, for Czarface, since we make a lot of play on words off Czarface. So
I've noticed you've managed to do it for many albums. I'm like, how are they going to fit Czar into this title?
Well, we get a lot of suggestions.
The odds are against us.
Yeah, the odds are against us, and there are people suggest things to me. And sometimes they're things I had never thought of, and I get really mad.
And that's the worst. Yeah,
right. And then I write back to them. I say, "Oh, we already thought of that one. We already cut that one out, but we might bring it back."
That's yesterday's news, bitch.
Yeah, But some real, low-hanging fruit like Czar Wars, kind of, I had to get that out of the way early. But Czartificial Intelligence, it's just kind of, it was an easy one.
So, but you were thinking about AI. You're thinking about the future on this album and the repercussions and what's that like.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's deep, bro.
It's, it's as deep as we get on Czarface records,
I think you guys are pretty deep. That's why I like you. I think you're the most intelligent. I mean, do I call you rappers? Is that cool? Are you a rap band? Just like Stand Up to Routines, you guys are a rap band.
We are, we're a hip hop outfit. I see a lot of people call us a super group, and that's kind of.
Oh, that's cool. You are.
Well, because it's an amalgamation of 7L and Esoteric and Inspector Deck of Wu-Tang Clan. So we formed like Voltron, and now we're a super group called the Czarface. Yeah, is that a transforming sound? That's pretty good.
I know that because
okay.
Your music. You guys like all that stuff.
Yeah, we do. I grew up with Transformers, G.I. Joe, Batman, Spider-Man. I was the only child and didn't have any friends.
Yeah.
And those are my friends. No, I did have friends through basketball and stuff like that. But when I was alone at home and my parents are like throwing dishes at each other and fighting and moving out and moving back in and all this kind of trauma, my one safety was comic books and my dog.
Yes.
Those are the constants.
It's interesting you say that because I just joined, of all things, I'm so mortified, but I don't care, I'll share. I joined like a support group online for people with CPTSD, which is what I've been diagnosed with, complex PTSD, which just means you had a fucked up childhood.
Okay. All right.
But what they said was a lot of the times kids will adopt something they've seen on television, like a hero or like a TV show or something to help them cope. And that's actually what people with CPTSD do. But I adopted Pippi Longstocking. She was my hero.
Oh, look at that.
And I decided that I would rise above and make my orphan life fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. I'm not an orphan. I'm like a super powered bitch, and I can draw on the walls, and I can, I can hang upside down, and I can travel the seas and fight pirates. Fuck that. It's freedom.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love it. That's great.
Thank God for the comic books and stories.
Yeah, just a little bit of escapism. If I'm on my kitchen floor, I have these things that I can play with and build and then draw and create. And I was able to bring that into the music and marry those things. And with Czarface, it's a character that was inspired by my son, really, to give him something to his own superhero in a way.
That's rad.
Because when we came up with Czarface, he was about 3 or 4, and it was one of these things where he was with me all the time, and I was trying to do music, and he would not stop being a 2-3-year-old kid,
Sure.
and they're very needy, and we're very lucky to experience this as parents. It's great, and you want to get back to that, but sometimes when you're living in it, it gets a little bit challenging. But I said, how can I do this? How can I keep him engaged with my work stuff, because he's all over me, and all the music we were writing, I started referencing. He's like, what's the name of that song? And I say, oh, that's the Green Lantern song. What's this one? It's the Batman song. And then this is Czarface, and Czarface is your guy. And tell me about Czarface. And then he became a character that, was the mascot for the group, or the Eddie Iron Maiden to us. You know what I mean?
That is so. I had no idea that was the genesis of Czarface.
Yeah, I've been, talking about it at Comic-Cons, and I usually stumble through the story. I get a little choked up because thinking of him, it's like,
I know.
And So every time I tell it there, I kind of stumble through it. I feel like I finally have been able to articulate it without getting too
Completely
emotional.
falling to pieces.
Yeah, it's just, it's really, Inspect the Deck coming from Wu-Tang and me and 7L from Boston. We needed some common ground too, other than the love of talking shit on the microphone.
Yeah.
So bringing in a lot of the things we both grew up with in different parts of the East Coast, such as Iron Man and whoever, it was, it worked out.
Definitely. Well, that's so good. I always think of, I don't know if you know this woman, Marianne Williamson. She's like part of the self-help movement.
Mm-hmm.
And she said this in a talk a long time ago. She's like, it's easy to go shallow in your work, but you always want to go deep. You always want to do another layer to your creative matter. Just go deep. Why not? Like you're there. You may as well fucking make it meaningful and connect with people on an unconscious level, not just like, because it is. I imagine in your world of rap music, it's like pussy, dick sucks.
It
bang,
is.
bang, I'm the richest, I'm the best. And like, how I get it. It's cool. There's a place and time. But then you're like, okay, I'm bored. I don't want to hear it just about dick sucks and pussy licks,
Absolutely. And there is, if you have a 16-bar verse and 15 of those bars are the cliche that you expect, it doesn't really interest a lot of people. Yeah, it
That's
depends.
true.
It all depends with an artist's delivery and his voice and everything. That can be very captivating in the right situation. You know what I mean? But for us, in the way that we write, we like to kind of reach out. It's like a playground where we can bring this in and bring that in and bring things you don't typically hear in rap songs. You know what I mean?
That's why I like you guys, because you're deep and you're interesting.
Oh, thanks.
in a real fucking, like a really cool way, man.
Oh,
and I think
thank
you guys
you.
are doing something that nobody is out there doing. And it's just it's interesting and it's fun.
I
and
appreciate
it's
that.
not shallow bullshit. Yeah. Are you looking for a meaningful gift this holiday season that your loved ones will actually use and enjoy? Finding the perfect holiday gift for a loved one is a challenge every year. And that's why I love Skylight Frames. I'm telling you, it's the best gift for grandparents. It's the best gift for anybody in your family. It's like the simplest thing. You keep the frame. We keep ours in the kitchen, and the kids just love looking at pictures of themselves, of course. I mean, what kid doesn't love that? It's a perfect gift for grandparents, hands down. It's intuitive and super easy to use. The grandparents will rave about it. The setup takes less than 60 seconds. The touch screen makes it so easy. You can swipe through photos, tap to see new photos sent, tap the heart button to say thank you to the sender. It's just a delight to use every day. The kids love it, by the way, touching the screen, of course. Skylight Frames is a top-rated brand. They have over 1 million happy customers, thousands of 5-star reviews, and available in over 30 countries. As a special limited-time offer for our listeners, get $15 off your purchase of a Skylight Frame when you go to skylightframe.com/moms. To get $15 off your purchase of a Skylight Frame, just go to skylightframe.com/moms. That's skylightghtframe.com/moms. Are you looking for a snack that's not only delicious, but also packed with protein to power your day? Look no further than Kudo Popcorn. Kudo Popcorn's revolutionary cooking method allows each bag of popcorn to have 10 grams of whey protein isolate in every bag while tasting absolutely delicious. For the moms out there, imagine having a delicious snack you can share with your kids guilt-free. Kudo protein popcorn is perfect to keep around when you or your little ones need a good protein boost in your day. Say goodbye to those sugary, empty-calorie snacks, and for a limited time, get 25% off their entire order with code WMMA at kudosnacks.com. I love Kudo Snacks because Lord knows my toddlers they seem to be on a carb-only diet. So whenever I can sneak in any protein, I do it with Kudo Popcorn. We watch a movie, I give them some Kudo Popcorn, and they don't even know they're getting protein. You'll be amazed how Kudo Popcorn has somehow made your favorite healthy snack even tastier and healthier. And for a limited time, my listeners get an exclusive 25% off discount when they use the code WMMA at kudosnacks.com. That's 25% off with code WMMA at kudosnacks.com. Treat yourself to a snack that understands your lifestyle and join the Kudo movement.
Thanks.
But also you're a parent, which and you love dogs, and I'm obsessed with dogs too. I feel like dogs are life.
Yeah.
And dogs are better. They're the best people.
Oh, they certainly are.
Or they're gifts.
You can't, I can't even, sometimes I was walking down Congress Street in Austin, and there's just dogs everywhere, and they're walking these girls, and I feel like these girls, I feel like the girls think I'm checking them out. I'm not looking at them. I'm looking at the dogs. You know, you see a certain breed, see like an Irish Wolfhound. It's like seeing a celebrity. You know, it's like
that's your celebrity dog.
There are a lot of there's an Irish Wolfhound. There's a Saint Bernard. Like you just see
Saint Bernard's the celebrities. You know which one is mine? I like the Brussels Griffon.
Oh, those are beautiful.
Those are my
little
favorites.
Guys, little guys. They should be in the Star Wars universe. If you really look at their face.
They're Ewoks.
Yeah.
That's what I have. I have one.
Yes,
I have one.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm obsessed with, that's my celebrity dog breed.
Okay.
I lose my mind when I meet a Brussels Griffon.
Oh, yeah. I'm like that with Newfies, or it's like a Wookiee, a Chewbacca. So you see a Newfoundland, and I stop every time. And sometimes, if it's a girl that's attractive, I feel like they think that this looks like I'm just trying to talk to them, but I don't give a shit. I'm already, that ship has sailed. I want to talk to the dog.
Let's bring up Newfie. I want to see this Newfoundland. It's a Newfoundland Shepherd, yeah?
Just a Newfoundland dog. If you bring up chocolate Newfoundland, you probably see a real Chewbacca-looking dog. And there's 3 different types. There's the black one, the chocolate one, and the Lancier, which is the black and white one down there in the bottom.
You really are a dog enthusiast.
Kutya.
Yeah? Kutya.
Kutya.
Yeah.
It's
Kutya. That's a Hungarian. He knows the word.
Right. That's right there. Yeah, see.
That's a big dog.
Oh, they're beautiful. I have a couple in our neighborhood, and they just walk so slowly and controlled down the street. They're just lumbering like I always, when the guy who owns them walks by our house, I always walk out and I keep doing the same lame joke of trying to offer one of our dogs in a trade. And the guy, he doesn't really lean into it. He's like, here we go, we're gonna do this fucking dance again.
This fucking guy.
Yeah, but I can't help myself. I just can't resist. I just got to go out and just have some type of a little vignette with the new.
Why can't you get one? Can you get one? You got big dogs already.
Why don't you have Andrea's number? Got to get you Andrea's number. You kind of persuade her.
Your wife is great, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You guys are the best couple, and I love you.
You guys are the best couple.
I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
And can I tell you? So let's talk about fatherhood, because I seldom get dads on the show. It's mostly male comics that are just degenerates who I love.
Yeah.
But you know,
I have to step out my degeneracy.
No, you don't. You're good. You're good. That's why I like you, because you're not like pretending to be this like chaotic, like, oh, I'm fucking crazy. Like you're not. You're a family guy, and there's nothing wrong with being a family person. So you guys, what's the hardest part about being a dad? Let's start there.
Right now, I'd say watching my son get older. He's 15, and he's not quite pulling away, but I'm seeing the flickers.
Oh, you know what I mean? It gives me anxiety.
Yeah,
I don't want it.
I mean, he's still there, and he's still very present. We walk one of our dogs every night around 8:00, and that's when he opens up, and we walk him around the block, and we'll do a couple laps, and that's when he tells me about his day and stuff like that. And I'd like to give credit to Pepper for always pushing us to go out. She's the vehicle for that. But it's one of those things, as you know, that 2-year-old phase, the 5-year-old phase, 8-year-old phase, 11-year-old phase, they're all very different. And they're all, you hear it all the time, that it goes by so fast, and it's become a cliche that's really hard to quantify, but it's so real. And that's why we probably take too many pictures of the kids, but when they pop back up on the iPhone, you brought right back to that moment. And where is that guy? But where he is now, I couldn't be happier. Love the kid to death. And I would say that right now for me with him, that's the hardest part of parenting. With my daughter, who's 8, the hardest part of parenting is saying no to a play date.
Why is that? Why you say no?
Just every day when she gets out of school, she's just ready to rock. She is the most happy, where's the party at?
She's social.
Kid, very social, and she just every day after school she expects to go over one of the friends' houses or to our house, even though our house is boring. But And I don't think our house is boring either in any way, shape, or form, because one of our dogs, Pepper, is a lethal weapon. So it adds a bit of, a dangerous element. Yeah, she could maul any one of the kids at any time. So I don't think that's boring.
But the play date, I'm opposed to the play date. Like, you can't go to somebody's house, bro. Like, I don't know these parents. Who are these fucking parents?
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
Nah.
We're in a very fortunate position where we've met all the parents and have actually formed very, very good friendships with them, which are very valuable to us. Like the kids' relationships, where they are, where they're rooted, and our friendships with the parents. It's just this thing that you never saw coming in life before you had kids.
So this is good. So what you're telling me is my fear of pet.
Yeah. I don't. I'm very. I would say that I'm very vigilant in terms of that. Like, or should I? No, I'm not very vigilant. Like I'm carrying around a rifle, but I'm very aware of where my kids are, what they're doing, and who they're with. And I feel like I have a pretty strong grip on that, and I'm in tune with them 100% of the time, I feel. And my wife is too. We're always like, hey, how'd it go? Where'd you do? Da-da-da.
Good.
You can talk to us. I think we really, I don't know. So I don't think there's an unhealthy amount of fear of that. Of course, you want to be super conscious of that and cognizant that it's a very real thing. But I know that my daughter Allie, she almost knocked me out the other day. So I think she could defend herself pretty well.
Good.
But I don't know. I feel like that's one of those things that we like our base where we are, Good,
because let me tell you, I signed up. My kid goes to school where if you want to be a parent that like drives for the field trips or whatever, you have to go through a program where you learn about. I was so traumatized by this presentation because it was like, this is so awful. I'm just gonna say it because I want parents to hear this. Mm-hmm. This one family told a story of how it's always a friend of the family, a male friend, a guy who, the coach, or the single guy friend who's just always hanging around. Hey, and it's Pete. And Pete will, hey, I'll babysit the kids for you, or I'll pick up your kids from school.
Yeah.
That's the guy you got to worry about, is fucking friendly Pete that wants to help out the single mom. That guy's the one who's trying to get with your kids, man.
Right. Fuck Pete.
Fuck Pete.
Seriously.
That's what I'm saying. So like,
I've been through a similar training. I coach.
You did?
Yeah, I coached my daughter's soccer team,
worst.
and it is like I'm applying to coach for the U.S. national team. It really is.
Good.
I mean, oh no, it's great.
Good.
They're very thorough, but the things you have to watch, and the unsettling things you have to watch, is akin to your mom's house.
It's the heavy segment for parents. I know.
So
you're like, don't make me fucking live this.
Well, yeah. So you're sitting there and you're going through a program that's teaching you what to do in case if a kid collapses for unknown reason, concussion. Okay, this is very scary and stuff. And then it gets into the creepy stuff. What do you do? Who do you call? Do you call the feds first? Do you call the cops first? Do you tell other people? And it's when I'm out there on the field, I'm very the opposite of handsy.
Yeah.
I don't go, you know what I mean? I don't even address the girls as girls. I'm like, come on, kids, let's go, kids. I feel like I'm always very much.
Do you have to non-gender?
No, I don't. No, I would say, I mean, some girls are like, get over here, bitch. But I'm not gonna,
Give them a little taste.
Yeah, your mom's a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
No. A lot of the times, I just feel like kids, they're all still kids. You know what I mean? So it's like, sometimes I coach with guys and they're like, ladies, come over here. And I'm like, hey, I feel like they're calling out a stripper or something. You know
ladies.
What I mean? Yeah. Let's welcome Crystal to the stage. Yeah. And we're just having her play goalie,
I hated being called ladies because I went to an all-girls Catholic school and then I'm like, you don't know what fucking wild dogs we really are, because when you put a girl with other girls, actually, if I might make a recommendation, if there is an all-girls school in your neighborhood, send your daughter, man, because it's so good for girls to be with just other girls in those years where the pressure with boys is so high. Yeah. And that's when a girl's self-esteem really takes a shit, is like 9th grade through 12th, even before. I think it starts in like 6th, 7th grade with that boy pressure. But if you remove that, you're free. And I just felt so liberated, because I was just being myself. I didn't have to like impress anybody. I wore a uniform, and I think it really created the mental patience that I am today.
Oh, well, it's a blessing that you're on this planet
Yeah.
in the way you are. So
Yeah.
it worked out.
Yeah.
But you might be right because my daughter has her friends over every once in a while, and they're all great in different ways. You know what I mean? But there are a couple great.
A couple of whores in training. A couple of little tramps.
No, well, they're all 8, and one of them
You can tell already who's going to be a whore.
No.
can't.
Well, one of them, is mentioning Ryan Gosling's abs and his 6-pack, and
That's my kind of girl. I love Ryan Gosling.
well, I love him too. But
So hot.
He's
Fire.
I'm telling you, my wife loves Ryan Gosling.
Really?
Oh God, with
Samesies.
the Notebook,
I watch it on loop when Tom's out of town.
Do you really?
Just diddle miskiddle to
I try.
Ryan Gosling. On loop.
I try to get my 6-pack going, and I'm only kidding. But I mean, that's what I think about when I think of Ryan Gosling. But
Yeah.
Back to
But back to your
Lisa.
your
She'll
whore
go.
friends.
Her name will be Lisa. Just talking about that, and I said 6-pack because I didn't. Allie is, in my opinion, Allie hasn't had doesn't know what a 6-pack is, or hasn't been taught by the social mores to value a 6-pack or anything like that. So I just said to them all, I said, what's a 6-pack? And then Allie, my daughter, she said, "You just don't know how to do girl talk." And they all walked away. Or you don't know girl talk, and walked away. And I was like, all right, that seems foolish enough. Maybe
That's
she
fair.
doesn't know either. But, right now she has like Addison Wells, Meg Donnelly from Zombies on her
Cool.
wall. And, those type of things. When those get replaced with, I don't know, whoever Ryan Gosling for
He's so
instance.
dreamy.
He's dreamy, or a fucking Tom Segura or something.
Never.
We're good.
Does anybody ever put comedians on their walls?
I don't know.
No way.
I don't know. He's
Maybe
just-
Matt Rife.
Matt Rife.
He's the first one.
Yeah.
The holidays are here, and that means one thing. It's time to start shopping for the men in your life, and there's no better place to look than True Classic. Ladies, you need to gift your men the best fitting t-shirts, jeans, and sweaters from True Classic. And right now, for a limited time, this November, they're giving our listeners a special Black Friday deal all month long, up to 60% off site-wide at trueclassictees.com/WMMA. I love these shirts because the cut of them is so beautiful and clean and classic, and it's just a high quality cotton shirt, which seems like so hard to find these days, but this company has just mastered it. These shirts aren't just any shirt. True Classic has completely re-engineered how t-shirts fit. They're tighter around the arms, chest, and shoulder. They have a looser fit in the torso. The men in your life need this. So if you're ready to do them a favor and upgrade his closet, shop now with my exclusive link at trueclassictees.com/WMMA and save up to 60% off site-wide during their November holiday sale. That's trueclassictees.com/WMMA. This year, I am thankful for True Classic.
Yeah.
I know I'm blessed in that I'm raising boys, because I think with girls it would be too charged for me, because I've worked so hard to get myself out of the matrix very early, and I think being in Catholic school, all girls school, was really rad that way, because they teach you there, like, you're not a fucking sex object, you're not anybody's,
Yeah.
you're you, and you're like, what? I can be myself. I don't have to. I can ignore society. Yeah, that's a construct. It's a and yeah. I mean, but then again, like, girls like girly stuff too, like Barbie, right? That's would be a great example of like,
Yes.
girls like pink, and fucking some inherently like this kind of stuff.
You know what? My daughter's favorite color right now is lavender.
Oh yeah, I like
She
that.
loves lavender, and she's anti-pink.
Oh,
Yeah, which is, I don't know what that means for our future.
she's probably
but
lesbian.
maybe. Hopefully.
Trans?
Yeah, no, yeah, maybe.
You should start her on hormone blockers. What are you doing? It's child abuse at this point.
Whatever she's up for. But I think that Barbie, she liked the Barbie movie, and Barbie's pretty pink-centric, right?
Oh, very.
Very, yeah. So I think
Yeah.
I do think that's going to be the theme for her birthday party, which might lend itself to a lot of pink around the house. Wow. Yeah.
So charged for me, because you're like, you want to give little girls what they like, and then you're like, yeah, but in society, such a dance we dance as women. If you are, you have to be attractive, but not slutty attractive. You have to be young, but not too young, old, but not too. There's just so many lines.
Yeah,
It's really interesting.
I think the one thing that you might maybe, I would think that a lot of people might overthink that. Do you know what I mean? If they're looking to appeal to somebody else, they might be focused on the wrong things.
If you're looking to appeal to someone, you mean little girl, young teenagers?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the teenage girl brain is like,
Right.
I want to be attractive. I want everyone to like me.
Yeah.
I want to be popular.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
It's terrible. It's
Absolutely.
a tough time.
And my son, who's a freshman now, this is the first time I've seen him like look in the mirror. You know what I mean? He's like starting to comb his hair and shit like that. Like 8th grade, he didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And now he's, I can tell he's thinking about something. He's thinking about his appearance, which is good. Taking a lot of showers and wearing my clothes to school, and it's great.
That's crazy.
But you just have to emphasize what's important. I think I spent a lot of my life valuing material things. You know what I mean?
Really?
I did, yeah.
Wait, are you serious? It's so funny because listening to your lyrics,
Yeah.
always assume you're very anti-materialist.
Yeah, I think in real life I am. Do you know what I mean? But when some things that you were into back in the day, they're just things that stick with you, and that I know that. Like yesterday, you had the Burberry shirt on.
You said that what? What brand?
Burberry.
Burberry. Everyone from the East Coast says Burberry.
And I said that I was wearing the Burberry pants in one of our old albums, and we had a little what would you call it, connection about Burberry. But Burberry's expensive. It's
very,
and it's in the big scheme of things, I don't know it's not really, doesn't mean too much, right?
No, it's interesting because there's this guy Baudrillard, this philosopher, and he talks about brands and what they mean and why do we gravitate towards a brand. It's because a brand is an identifier and it lets other people know your values, right?
Yeah.
So for instance, I like Burberry.
Yeah.
I actually just like the stripes, and I like how uptight it looks. It reminds me of Catholic school.
Okay.
But it also is part of the chavs of London.
Yeah.
In England, they're lower class. They're white trash, and they love wearing Burberry.
Yeah.
And it makes me, I want to identify with the chav. I don't know why, but I like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Everyone is, it's a certain thing. Like sometimes, you see a real dope pair of sneakers on somebody, and you're supposed to think that guy knows what time it is. That guy can dress. But a lot of the times lately, you think that's the type of maniac that's going to wait in a line for fucking 2 hours around the block to buy the sneaker, because they're obsessive about collecting the sneaker. So that's a different type of mentality than someone that would just effortlessly have the sneakers because they are in the right places at the right times and they're gifted to them or something. So I don't know. It's a tough world to navigate, especially like before a show. I'm always like thinking about what hat I'm going to wear and what this and da, da, da. But if I'm picking up my kid at the school, I look like a real asshole.
Yeah, I look like a garbage person most of the time.
Yeah, and that's probably when I'm most comfortable.
As a garbage man.
Yeah, no, I mean just like the appearance. Like sometimes I'll show up at school and I look like I want to battle. And people are like, "Who the heck is this guy?" And sometimes I'm just rolling out of bed and I'm just picking up. But it's just I don't know. It's just the way my closet is.
Yeah. But how cool we get to play with how we look, and it's something I started doing during the pandemic when I was bored at home, is I started to really pay attention to how I dress, and that's how I got into fashion and stuff. I was like, oh,
all right. So you've only been into fashion since 2020.
Seriously. Well, I liked goth stuff, so I wore black for my whole life,
Yeah.
And then the Adidas tracksuits. I love Adidas.
I was gonna say I saw you in those a lot before.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, I even dressed this as Olga from Ukraine. Yeah. I custom made this Adidas tracksuit. This is old school hip hop.
Absolutely.
This is the
Run
genesis.
DMC. Yes, absolutely. And I didn't know that was custom.
Of course, this cost me. DMX cost $500,000. This is $10,000 to get a raccoon Adidas tracksuit.
I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe that. You can get a lot of custom made clothes for Barbies online.
Seriously?
And Mego action figures. Yeah, there's a market for everything. So you can find someone that will actually sew you a little suit to go on a particular Barbie.
A tiny suit?
A Barbie-sized suit.
Wow.
Which is not the ideal, not the body type that every woman should have.
That's not true.
Or aim for.
Well, no. Don't you get on me about this. Don't you get into fat pride
Listen,
with me
I
on
discussed this.
Don't you get me on this fat shit.
I talked to my partner about this a lot. And no.
Okay, so what do you and your partner? So talk to me. What do you guys feel about fat models and stuff?
That's my wife. I like all women.
Oh, stop!
What?
Stop with that horse shit. No, you don't. All of them?
Not all of them.
Big fatzos?
No. I mean, everyone's attracted to different things, but I mean, I think there's a lot of guys that I know that find a lot of value in.
There's 5 guys that like fat models. 5.
I go to 5 guys.
Yeah.
Like curvy girl, curvy girls. I mean, that's. I think
okay. That's a minority. I have to say, I really think the minority. I don't know though. Maybe we should take a dick poll.
Dick poll.
Figure out what
what
makes your dicks hard.
Oh yeah. I mean, ask Tom. I don't know. I just anytime I find a girl attractive, I just say, oh, Jesus, it looks just like my wife.
Yeah.
I'm on Pornhub. I say, what the fuck? This is my wife. This looks just like my wife every time.
Yeah. You masturbate to your wife. Every guy out there does. They just love that.
Well,
God. But don't you find it gets easy? Like the older you get and the longer you're married, you're like, it's not even an option. Like I honestly, and I'm not better, holier than thou, but when I see people having affairs when they have families, I'm like, how the fuck are you doing this, bro? Like, how do you have the time?
Yeah.
And B, like, where are your priorities?
Yeah, there's a lot to be said about that. Absolutely,
It's crazy.
You're not only stabbing your wife in the back, you're stabbing your kids in the back, and that's
Their
how
futures.
I look at. Yeah,
they're fucked.
Absolutely.
You fuck your kids so bad.
Absolutely. I grew up around 2 parents that were having affairs all the time.
Stop.
And I'd answer the phone for my mom's boyfriend, and I didn't know what was what, because just rotary phones back then. So it was just like the house phone,
So hold on. So your parents lived together, and they would have separate affairs, and then the guy would call the house, and little baby Eso.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
And is your mom there?
Yeah.
And
this
then,
guy named Tommy, and no, I'm not kidding. His name was Tommy too. Yeah, I would do that a lot. I never.
And did your mom know that you knew? Were you
I don't
asked
think she cared
to cover
or something? I don't think she cared because I'd relay the message and would just continue. Because as far as I knew, Tommy could have been a coworker. She worked like 3 jobs pretty much. She was a mental health counselor, a teacher, and a teacher at a couple different places. So she was out all the time. She was working from 7 at night to 11, 7 in the morning to 11 at night, pretty much 2 different jobs. And as far as I know, you know what I mean?
Jesus.
But there was just a situation, my dad would move out, be in an apartment, and we would be in a house that we rented, and then eventually he'd come back, and who knows all the shit that they're discussing over my head, but I'm kind of just living in it. Do you know what I mean?
And you're an only child too?
Only child, yeah.
Gee, that's what fucks it even harder.
Yeah, it was tough. So I think I don't know. I don't really talk about it too much, but it's something that now that my dad's passed away, and my mom is in a memory care unit now, so she's suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia, and really, so it's lately I've been speaking to people about it more openly because I don't have any fear of hurting them.
Yeah.
And outing their business in a way, because that's a generation that's kind of going away, Like I just started talking about it to a couple friends like a couple weeks ago, and I couldn't believe it was coming out. Like only my wife and a few of my friends know that situation, and the kids I grew up with. But it was just this thing that I said, well, my dad's gone now, and I was really, really close with, and my mom.
You were close with your father?
Super close.
So hold on. But he was having affairs as well. And
he did have an affair, and he made it a point to take me out to a place called the Pleasant Cafe in Rosendale, which is a suburb of Boston or a borough of Boston. We sat down, and he told me all about it.
How old are you?
I was probably in my 20s at that time, and we sat down, and we'd go there a lot, like back in the day when I was a little kid, and we went there then, and I just thought it was weird that he was bringing me there for that, like, or that he's like, let's go out to eat. We'll go to the Pleasant. And I said, oh, okay, great, pizza. And then he just kind of laid it all out on me, and I felt like that's something he had to get off his chest, which took a lot for him. And the more I reflect on it, I'm like, wow, I would never want to have to tell my kids that, and I haven't done anything like that, thankfully. So the right girl doesn't come along, but
Could you imagine?
So hold on. So you're 20 years old or so, 20, and then he sits you down, and what does he tell you?
Well, he just, laid it out on the line that, he had an affair with this woman, and they went to Las Vegas, and
Wait, who's the woman?
Oh, I don't know the woman. I never met the woman. She was probably, maybe worth doing it with, I imagine at that
She
time.
hot?
I don't know. I mean,
She had big tits, little tits. He didn't tell you the good stuff, huh?
No, we
She
didn't
had an ass guy.
We didn't
What
ever,
made his dick hard? We all need to know.
Oh well,
God.
the A Team. But well, not the TV show, but it was a. I remember discovering the VHS tape.
Oh, it really is a pornography.
It's
the A-Team.
the A Team, and it was the anal team. I came home after school one day, and I put it in the VHS, put it in the VCR, and I just thought it was the A Team.
Yeah.
I put it in the VCR, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I was.
How old are you then?
I was probably 11 or 12.
Oh,
maybe,
my God.
and it was just straight. I mean, it was as graphic as you could get. It wasn't in 4K or anything, but it certainly lives in 4K in my brain.
Of course. You know what's so funny? You say that because I stumbled on a magazine my dad had in his bedside drawer when I was about Ellis's age, 7.
Okay.
And the image is, I can see it right now. Just, it's a woman's vag. God, I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud. I'm so traumatized, but I'll share it with you guys because it's gross. And she had like a string of pearls coming out of her meow, out of the hole. And I was like, wait, why is this happening? Why is she putting this in her pussy? And like, I think it explodes your brain.
Yeah.
When you see pornography too early, it's too much for a kid.
Yeah.
To even process. So you're processing like affairs and comings, and your dad gets kicked out. So what, your dad has an affair, does your mother find out and then kick him out of the house?
I think that's what happened.
Yeah,
but they had a very, like, there was a lot of times where, and this might sound like cartoon violence, but it's true. I mean, she would beat him with a racket. And,
of course.
And one time she was jumped on the hood of, my dad took me to get out of the fighting, and she jumped on the hood of the car. My dad was driving down the street with her on the hood of the car, and I'm
Hilarious.
in the passenger. Hilarious now.
Like a movie. No,
Hilarious
it's like
now.
fucking.
But she's on the hood of the car, and then he hits the brake and she falls over, and then he drives over her, and then he backs up, and that's I'm only kidding about that part.
Okay, I was like, she lived.
No.
You're like, she's paralyzed now.
Yeah, you wanted that footage for the heavy segment. But eventually he stopped the car. She got off the hood, and it, a lot of it's blocked out. But I saw a lot of crazy shit, which I think I'm very lucky to have maintained a healthy marriage, I guess as healthy as we can ask for. And I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'm very and I think my wife's very lucky.
No, she's very beautiful too.
I'm way out. She's way out of my league.
She's so hot, dude. God damn.
I don't know what it is.
But
I
don't
agree.
you think that, because you and I come from so much drama growing up, and we were only children, which makes it even worse because you don't have anybody to validate the insanity that goes on around you. My mother, now that I'm finally starting to remember, and I've repressed a lot of stuff because it was so traumatic. My mother was schizophrenic my whole life, but I didn't really put it together until she died, and I got to see the writings and all the and now I'm remembering, like, oh yeah, this was a psychosis she would get into when this would happen, and so I think, but the reason I think you and I both value our families and our marriage because we had so little growing up. You had so little emotional love and support. It's like, God damn it, if I'm not going to make this fucking work.
Absolutely.
I'm not fucking this up. I love you.
Yes.
We're doing this.
Yeah, that's perfect. You said it perfectly.
Right?
You couldn't say it any better. I remember being on the porch of my apartment one of the first times, not the first time, but within the first few months of hanging out with my wife, way before we were dating. And I just opened up about all that stuff, and we just talked about growing up and what it was like, and we both connected on, you know, some just family issues growing up. And I think it was, along the way, we kind of decided that we want to stay as far away from that type of shit as we can.
Oh my God.
And so we work on stuff, and I think we are flexible and things. We've been very lucky so far.
Right?
I mean, I don't know. She could be banging someone right now, but
I doubt that. She's too busy.
No,
man.
she is.
She's got, you guys have a good life. She ain't doing that. No. Yeah, I think, it's so crazy.
You know, I learned a lot about my mom too when I was cleaning out her apartment and everything, and all the prescription bottles, and now I have to do all her medication and everything, and kind of manage that situation. So I learned. I mean, she just had more pills than I don't know.
What is she in? Is she on drug? Like, is she recreational, or is it?
Oh no, it's all pharmaceutical stuff. You know, antipsychotics. And,
cool.
And you know, just there are so many things that I can't pronounce in so many different combinations.
Azepines and Zazamans,
yeah, all that stuff. Yeah,
Zosterbons.
You know, she was in one place for 2 months, and she assaulted somebody in there.
Great.
And so we had to go through all the med list and see what created this. And now she's in a new place, and you know, I love her, of course, but it has not been an easy road lately. But you know, it's my mom, and she's great. I was, you know, a lot closer with my dad growing up, though.
Sounds like it.
He was ironically, he was just around more, you know, but she was working, you know, and you can't you know, fault her for that. But I don't know. I'm just how about the Patriots? You watch the Patriots?
No, listen, okay, so like everything you're saying, I think Gen X grew up with these selfish boomer parents, or my parents were traumatized from war, from being in Eastern Europe and communism and all this shit. I don't know, were your parents immigrants?
No, my dad was from Dorchester. My mother was from Arlington. Those are both places really close to Boston, boroughs of Boston. So no, I think their grandparents. Like my grandparent. I didn't really know. I knew one of my grandparents, but I don't know. My dad didn't have a father.
There you go.
There was no father in his life, so I think he made it important to be a good father to me in most aspects. Besides bringing me to the dog track all the time to bet on dogs. Oh yeah.
That's why you love dogs.
I'm telling you, that's why.
It sparked your love of the Newfoundland.
I grew up at this place,
Newfoundlands.
the Seabrook dog track. I used to go there all the time. And I remember one time he let me bet on the dogs, and I won $70 on a dog named Paul's Friend. Okay. And it's I'll never forget it. You know, $70 at that age.
Fortune.
Oh, I was like, holy shit, $70. You know, and that probably wasn't a good role model in bringing me there. But
no,
I love dogs big time. And
isn't that funny though? Like when your parents, especially dads, will take you to do bad shit. Like I grew up in bars and nightclubs with my dad, and I went to racetracks a lot with him, and casinos and bad places. Yeah. You feel so special and chosen when you're a little kid.
Oh yeah, when you're in there, yeah.
You're like, God, this is so cool. Like, I can't believe I'm so grown up. You know?
Yeah. Well, he had a part-time job at a liquor store too, so I would be at the liquor store, you know, and I you know, I would just smell all of this beer and everything. Well, it wasn't heaven to me then. I was just like, what, this fucking smell? But I had to be there because nobody could watch me because my mother was at work or whatever. So, you know, he was an English teacher, and then he had a part-time job at the liquor store afterwards. So I would just sit in the liquor store and read Batman or Spider-Man. And
isn't that cool though? But you look at it from, but see, now I'm pulling back the lens and going, okay, that makes sense, because this guy is like, you're so kind of real, and you're so like grounded, and you're so, I can see the dots now in your art.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where you go like, oh, well, that makes sense. That's how you get to talk to all kinds of people. You probably talked to all kinds of motherfuckers in a liquor store growing up, you know, like.
Yeah, absolutely. There was one guy that was one of his former classmates that gave me $1. He gave me his last $1 and gave it to me. And my dad would not stop talking about how great this guy was, because he stopped and gave me $1, and he was always like, that's a good guy. He gave, I don't know why
You're
this is
like,
even popping in my head right
yeah.
now. His name was Paul Rideout, and hopefully he's still alive. But yeah, it was just these moments that you remember. A lot of my
Yeah.
life is a blur, but there are certain things that stick out and I can recall, which I'm very grateful for. You know, you want to have these memories. Don't you envy people that can recall these things that,
Yeah.
that, you know, the other day, George 7L was telling me about this time. One of the guys from Onyx came up to me back in 1995 and like commented on my polo sweater. I was like, yo, that shit is dope. And we were at the same radio station. He's like, this guy, Fredro from Onyx. He's like, yo, that shirt is dope. Sweater's dope. And I was like, I don't remember it at all.
Yeah,
but George
I
tells me, I'm
remember
like, and that would have meant so much to me. Yeah. That's all I wanted then. And I don't remember it, you know, and it's,
know.
where is that memory? Anyway.
I have bad memory too, and I think a lot of it is trauma. That's what my shrink tells me. Like
Okay.
there's just holes in your brain
Yeah.
from having to dissociate as a child. Like it just is. Your
Yeah.
brain is. So when you get into therapy, the thought is that you go back and you sew up around these holes and you make a narrative and a story that makes sense so that you're not like, I don't know if you fall into dissociative episodes or flashbacks or get dark and weird, but
I feel like I've had things that I can, you know, qualify as that, but I don't know. They've never actually been diagnosed, but there are times where I come out of my head and I'm just like, you know.
yeah, where was I for the last
where was I? Yeah.
fucking day or two? And,
Yeah.
and something can trigger it and you're just like, you go into another place. So I don't know, dude. I mean, it takes a long time to get in there with therapy and just remembering. It's very tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gnarly, but then you have kids on top of it, and like that kind of scrambles your brains a lot too, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. They
Just the dayness of it. Like,
I
what
can't-
time is it? I gotta go pick up this motherfucker at this time, and then this, and then we got that thing to do.
yeah, and it becomes a routine. I mean, sometimes picking up my daughter at school that's like my social hour. You know, it's like my break from work. Like I'll work in the studio at one point, and then 3:00 I got to go pick her up, and I'm like, oh gee, I got to put some clothes on to go, you know, and then I wind up chatting with the other parents and talking about the kids, and it's cathartic for half an hour to kind of get that social time if you're isolated working on stuff. I don't know.
So are they like, your dad's the coolest? 'Cause they're like, did you know the fucking like his dad's a rapper?
I don't know if they think it's the coolest, but they know. You know, I don't want to say that. They never really. You know, sometimes a couple of Allie's friends will sing one of our songs, and I'm like, that's. And I look at Allie, and Allie will ask Alexa to play a song that she's on. You know, she does a little thing with her voice, and she'll play some song from Dua Lipa, and then she'll play a Czarface song because her voice is on it, and it's like. I don't know. I don't know how she processes that, as if it's impressive. I know that if I was her age and I was doing that, like I'd be like, holy shit.
Yeah, I'd shit my pants.
Yeah. And my son, he'll wear like a Wu-Tang hoodie to school or a Czarface hoodie to school and a MF Doom hoodie. And kids will ask him, and he'll come back. He comes home and he's playing New York State of Mind or a Doom track on the piano or the guitar. So he plays the piano and the guitar, just, he's learning, but he plays these things, and I'll listen, and I'll come in and I'll be like, what's that? And then he'll teach me how to play it. And I'm like, my son is teaching me how to play these songs that I grew up on.
Wow.
And it's just because, I write and I rap and I don't play instruments, typical rapper. And, but he's learning these songs, and he's showing me how to play songs that helped me so much during my coming of age in a way.
Oh, that's
so it's like,
cool.
I started talking about this rapper Guru from Boston, from Gangstar.
Oh, Guru and Premier. Listen,
yes, absolutely.
Tom always talks about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we were driving a couple weeks ago because Xavier is getting into this stuff now and having questions and stuff and asking about certain people. And I started talking about him, and he's gone now. Rest in peace, Guru. And I started choking up because of how much Guru meant to me, and I'm passing on that things about Guru to my son, and I was like, I don't want my son to see me cry, so I can't get through it. It's just a weird thing,
Yeah,
and then in
so
Biz Markie,
cool.
who passed away, who was such an icon to me, but he was also on Yo Gabba Gabba, which my son grew up watching.
Oh, that's so cool.
And we got to see him live. And we saw, so when my son was probably 5 or 6, we went into Boston to see Biz Markie and Yo Gabba Gabba. And Biz Markie and Cool V are on stage performing Biz's Beat of the Day and doing the beatbox. And I'm like, this is one of my heroes. And Xavier's looking at him like, this is one of my heroes. And it was just, there are little connections there that I have a tough time like manning my way through and just being really stoic for. I give in to these feelings like, wow, this is a moment that's like, you know, and having kids, you know, not all of my closest friends, but some of my closest friends have no children, and it's by choice. Yeah. And some of my closest friends can't see their kids as often as they'd like. And I really sympathize, empathize with them for that, because sometimes I wish my friends could, because I'm so close with them, could experience what it's like to have this and moment, you know, sure. And I'm sure they wish that I could experience what it's like to go out for a drink whenever or get out of the house. But it's one of these things where I think about a couple of the guys and I think, geez, I wonder what their kid would be like at 15, and if they know these things that run through my veins when I start talking about my son, you know?
Yeah.
You know, or Allie, and it's just one of the, I don't know, it's one of these things that's just a big part of my life.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I love that. I know I always, when I'm alone with the kids in the car, I always make sure to educate them on mom's cool music.
Oh, yeah.
Not Tom's cool music, because Tom and mommy are vastly different. As you can see, I'm the dark side of the force. And I'm always like, this is Bauhaus. This is The Clash. Oh, yeah. This is the most important band in the world, The Clash. CLASH, boys. London Calling.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll like try to... And so now they like they like some of the songs that I like. Oh, the other day I got the 5-year-old to sing Rock the Casbah. Oh, no. That's my favorite song of all time, Rock the Casbah.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
And so I was like, okay, do you know what the song's about? Yeah. And there's this great podcast on Spotify. Sorry, I can't. Who's in, I'm sorry, Public Enemy, Chuck D. It's Chuck D narrates. And it's about the parallels between Public Enemy and The Clash, and how rap and punk rock it's a similar, same shit, different toilet, right? It's all about sticking it to the man and being like, and being a voice of a generation and just being rebellious as fuck. And it's such a great podcast if you can ever find that. It's on Spotify.
Okay.
But so I feel like Tom and I are kindred souls in that we're both sticking it to the man.
Yeah.
But just I went to England and he took it to like New York
the Bronx.
City. Yeah. Whatever, the Bronx.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's important shit to teach them these things.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. You know, I said the other day I was at the mothership, and you have to put the phones in the bags. Yeah. You know, and that gave me anxiety. You know, I'm like, what the fuck? I need to, you know, the guy at the door was like, it's Mr. Rogan's rules. Yeah. You know, and I said, no, it's fine. But I came out of the show, and I turned on my phone, and I got a text from my son, and it was a illustration that he drew of Eazy-E.
No way.
And he drew Eazy-E, and it was, you know, too late for me to respond to him at that time, but. You know, he knows cool. Eazy-E, you know, 15. What Eazy-E meant to me when I was 15 versus, you know, he's just learning about him now. But I mean, that was like my lifeblood. I mean, Public Enemy, NWA, Gangstar.
That is so cool. And all these names you say, it's only because of Tom Segura that I know.
Okay.
All these people you listen to.
I'm
you
so
just
happy.
Off.
You know, his Big Daddy Kane reference, you know.
What's Kane?
That's when I was like.
That's when you dialed in?
Yeah, I was like, I got this guy. I know I was saying, you know, I wouldn't have had the balls to say that, you know, to Kane. Yeah. But yeah, it's very relatable in a sense. You know, if you see Big Daddy Kane, you're seeing a fucking superhero.
Of course. Yeah. And it's so funny. Like, I wonder, because I try to stay cool, but I'm not. Like, who are the influences today? Like, who? Like, is it? I know Taylor Swift. We've got that one, and I think Taylor's kind of important to adolescent girls, to young girls. Yeah, because she's great for that, right? Yeah, like expressing feelings and dating and blah blah blah. And then you're like,
I guess my window to that world is, you know, Instagram, unfortunately, and stuff. So same. I think a lot of the shit that rises to the top with the most eyeballs on it can be filthy and vulgar and
pussy, dick, cunt stuff. Yeah, it's kind of basic.
That's kind of how it goes. But we grew up listening to Too Short and the Ghetto Boys and
you gotta let your nuts hang.
Gotta let your nuts hang, right? And,
I like that one.
That's
Biz
a legend.
Marquis, by the way. Biz was just like a space alien. That guy was so talented and just so unusual and so special.
Yeah, he's on Do
yes.
It.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Come on, do it.
They're one of the best songs ever. Yeah. And then on Check Your Head, the Beastie Boys.
They got it going on.
Yeah. And my wife just revealed to me the other day that she can play Gratitude on the guitar. And I was like, oh, that blew my mind. I didn't know you could play that.
That song.
Yeah. Oh, so good. So I said, you can? And she said, yeah. And I said, oh, you should play that with Xavier or whatever. And because I was in Austin when she told me. And she's like, that's what I'm doing. So they had a little session where they're playing the Beastie Boys. So
that's dope. I love those guys. Okay, remember this one? Go by the name of the king at rock. Super educated, I'm smarter than Spock. Every time you hear me, you will agree. Ain't nobody like, what is it? The K-I-D. And it goes, oh. With the echo, I'm telling you.
The echo really adds a little.
But then you hear them do it later. Yeah. It does make it in some.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's magic.
Go by the name. Oh, it is magic. Yeah. But even those little like slivers of hearing Biz, you're like, that guy was rad.
Oh yeah,
he sounds like he's just on another planet.
Absolutely.
Man.
And I talked to some guys from that era that grew up with Biz and hung with Biz, and they talk about Biz, and it just,
what was his deal? So what was the story?
Jealous. There's actually a documentary out now. I forget what it's called, but it's a Biz Markie documentary. I watched it. It was dope footage from that era, the 80s and everything. He's just a really unique guy that loved hip hop and loves collecting records, loves collecting rarities. And I just, one day my man, Will C, who's a good friend of mine, he's a producer and a record collector guy. He traded records with Biz Markie, and Biz Markie sent him a song back, an original song as a gift, just where he's rapping about Will C. And to this day, it still blows my fucking mind. And I'm like, how can I get involved with that song? It already exists, but he never said my name. And but it was just such a gift for him to do that for Will, just on the strength of them collecting tapes, like radio shows from WBLS in 1984. Like, these things have a lot of value, these cassettes, and Will has them all. He's an aficionado of all that stuff. And there was a few gaps in Biz's collection that Will could fill, and Biz hit him with his own song. It was great.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that shit, taping songs off the radio?
Absolutely.
Because you're like, oh my God, what's that song?
Had to do it.
I did it with Salt and Pepper with Push It.
Oh, yeah.
I was like 6th grade. I came out and we were like, what is this song?
So
you gotta record it.
Yeah.
And like, what are they talking about? What the fuck is this about, dude? Like, and LL Cool J and just, all these influences.
And that's the only way we could replay them, really, is on a cassette at that time, I think. Right?
Yeah, there's something good about not having a whole lot of choice. Weren't we talking about this on your mom's house, where you're like, I got this album.
Yeah.
I'm just going to listen to it like 500 times because.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I have to go deep on it.
Absolutely. Dana Dane, a rapper from, the mid 80s, he put out this album called Dana Dane with Fame. I'm pretty sure that was the name of it, but it was an 8-song album. And I really loved 3 of the songs at the beginning, but I learned to love all 8 because that was the only tape I had for a long time. And it stayed in rotation. And I was like, oh, okay, I know this one backwards and forward, because I had to wait a couple weeks for another tape to come out, because there were so many. You could name every artist that was putting out records at that time. There weren't so many. We're on Spotify, where they say there's like 60,000 new songs.
It's hard to even
uploaded a day.
Maybe that's why this is funny. This is interesting. We talking about this as music, because this might be what started my love of comedy. Because growing up, we had cable television, and if you recall, they played the same 5 fucking movies every day. So I studied and memorized comedy movies, not just watch them. Revenge of the Nerds, I can fucking do by heart. Ghostbusters. We've got Bush. Ghostbusters, I can do verbatim. Spaceballs. Coming to America is probably the most perfect comedy ever fucking made. And they play multiple characters in that. You've got Arsenio Hall, who's young and gifted. Of course, Eddie Murphy. And man.
Oh, it's great.
James Earl Jones. To Waldorf Astoria. And like, you think about the repetition of watching these movies on cable, and I think this was part of my comedy education, is like learning the timing and how to say the lines and symmetrical book stacking, just like the Philadelphia case of 1964. You're right, Ray. No human being can stack books like this. Like, just, because I wanted to be inside of these movies so badly. Fuck, man.
Yeah.
But you were doing that with your comic books and with your music, and I was watching Spaceballs and Ghostbusters.
Oh, I know Spaceballs too. Barf is like Chewie.
Barf.
Yeah, and that's
Comb the desert.
Comb Yeah. We ain't found shit. And, that was the golden day.
That was so funny.
Yeah, and as you said, Ghostbusters. I always think about Ghostbusters when it came out at the same time as Beat Street, and we had
I'm sorry, is that Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo?
That's a sequel to Breakin'.
Right.
Jeez,
Beat Street is what?
It's another movie about B-boy.
Right?
Yeah, it is. They came out around. Geez, now I'm like confused as to which movie it was, but it was a movie.
Look it up. Okay, Breakin' was probably my favorite.
But
then Beat Street.
Yeah, Beat Street, King of the Beat. There was a time where we could go to the movies, and my father took me, and it was Ghostbusters or it was Breakin'. And yeah, whichever, it was either Beat Street or Breakin' that came out at the same time as Ghostbusters, and I chose Beat Street or Breakin', and that's when my path.
That was, you could have gone comedy.
I could have.
And you went hip hop.
I went hip hop.
Oh, how funny.
But I still met you here.
Oh, how funny. We still here. Now, that's interesting because had there been like a female MC, like some dorky white girl, maybe it could have been like, oh my God, but I'm not a rapper. My heart is in comedy.
Well, you have made a rap song.
It's terrible. But
no, it's not.
I love Krayshawn.
Yeah.
She's good.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try again. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm so glad you came here.
Yeah.
What a fun! I can't believe we just had like the most amazing podcast ever just now.
Oh, I mean, you definitely drove the ship, but I'm happy to be here.
No, you're too humble about your talents. You're so fucking humble. Stop it. Stop it, guys.
I'm not humble. Well, ask my wife. She thinks I'm an egomaniac. No. But thanks.
Yeah, you're the best, guys. Czartificial Intelligence. It's out December 1st. Get it for Christmas. Where can people buy this album? Where should they buy it?
They buy it at the vinyl version at tons of independent record stores all around the country, especially Soundtracks in Beverly, Mass., which is 7L's record store. You can get it there. But, you can obviously stream it on Spotify and Apple and all those good places.
But buy the vinyl.
Yeah, you can buy the vinyl. I would love to say, you just go over to Tower Records and get it. But
I know.
I think you got to go to Japan for Tower Records now. There's just one left standing, if I'm not mistaken.
Wild. Do you know I just bought a turntable and I listen to records now and I rebought all my goth and punk records. Like I just bought The Damned.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and the Circle Jerks. I'm showing my kids that.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. That's great. It's all good shit.
All good shit. All right. I love you. Thank you for being here.
I love you too.
I bet you can't wait to pet those dogs.
I can't. I gotta
hug those babies and give your wife a kiss.
Absolutely.
You've been in Austin now for a few days. You're ready to go home.
Yep. I'm gonna bring your COVID home with me, and we'll be good.
It's not COVID. It's allergies. God.
I'm just kidding.
All right. Yeah. I love you. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to this show, and then until next time, stay cool, moms. Bye. Hi, Mommy. Thank you for watching that episode. Did you like what you see? I hope you did. So why don't you subscribe? Just click the subscribe button and, hit the notification bell so you can get notified. And also, why don't you watch another video? Watch one of these. You know what I'm saying? Like right here, down there, whatever. There's so much stuff, bro. I make these all the time for you to watch. That's why I'm here. I love you.